Hello all, and welcome to another episode of the Market Pulse presented by SmartTouch. I am your host, Aaron Fichera. Today, we have a wonderful show, something that we've never done before. We are going to host our first ever roundtable with the creative and brilliant minds of multiple agencies across North America to talk about just what do you need to have in your 2025 budget when it comes to traditional, digital, and then what new cool technologies are coming out. So I wanted to start off by kind of going around, and today's guests, I have Lianne McOuat of McOuat Partnerships, Jennifer Cooper of Evolution Marketing, Genevieve Benson of Milesbrand, and our very own Robert Coes of SmartTouch. Everyone, welcome to the show.
Hi, Aaron. Thanks for having us.
So for those that don't know or want to know a little bit more about yourselves, let's go around the table and kind of do a little brief introduction. Lianne, please start us off.
Okay. Lianne McOuat from McOuat Partnership. We are based out of Toronto, Ontario, Canada. And this year we're actually celebrating 50 years in business. My father started the company in 1973. And thanks for the clap, Robert.
Yeah, congratulations.
Been through a lot of ups and downs in the market over the years. I actually work with my three brothers, my sister, and about 45 full-time staff. We work for builders and developers across Canada, some U.S. states, and about 80 builders on our roster right now in all sectors, be it mid-rise, high-rise, low-rise, master plan, multifamily, seniors, adult lifestyle community. If it has a roof over it, then we get a roof for it.
Excellent, excellent. Looking forward to it. Jennifer, please tell us a little bit about yourself.
Hello, everyone. I am Jennifer Cooper. I am the founder of Evolution Marketing. We are located in Denver, Colorado, but we service the home building industry and service providers throughout the industry in both multifamily and single family nationwide. We are not a traditional agency like Lianne and her team. We are a team of fractional CMOs. So what we do is we come in and fill a void of marketing leadership in companies, but we serve a fraction of the time, which makes it affordable and more nimble for changing needs, demands, and budgets with variable. As we know, the home building industry has a lot of reaction. We serve a much smaller clientele. We're more of a boutique agency, so we never have more than a handful of clients at a time, so we can really give great service across those client needs. So thank you so much for having me here today. I appreciate it.
Excellent. I'm looking forward to the deep insights. Genevieve, please, a little bit about yourself.
Hi, everyone. My name is Genevieve Benson. I'm the Director of New Business for Milesbrand. We are a full-service creative agency. We're based in Denver, Colorado, but we also work nationally with developers of master plan communities, mixed-use developments, multifamily, and then we serve privately held builders as well. And we've been doing that for a little over 3 decades. So not 50 years like Lianne and her agency, but a ton of experience and just really happy to be here today. Thank you.
Excellent. And Robert, a little bit about yourself for the audience.
Hello, everyone. I'm Robert Coes, founder of SmartTouch Interactive and CEO today. We are a technology-driven marketing agency focused on serving builders and developers. We have clients also in all of the states in the United States, not all of the states, but actually 32 states. We have Canadian clients, and we also have work in America and Mexico. So we've been in business we're going to be celebrating our 15-year anniversary this coming January. And so today we work with over 70 builders and developers of, just like you guys described, all kinds of different products, offers, dirt, buildings, single family, for rent, build to rent, all of the different strategies we can implement to help drive demand for our clients.
Excellent. Well, for those that are listening, you can see that we have quite the array of knowledge and different regional perspectives, which gets into kind of our broader topic of today's discussion, which is what are those industry trends we're seeing on the regional level? How is that shaping our approaches and marketing strategy? And really answering the question for those, what do we need to include in our 2025 budget, especially when it comes to traditional marketing versus digital channels? And on top of that, what are some new technologies that we should be looking forward to? So before we jump in, I do want us to kind of paint the picture of where we are in the housing market. I think it's safe to say that we are post-COVID. Over the last 4 years, we've seen some booms in market, but we've also seen some dying out or teetering. A mixed use of supply and demand, where you might see more supply in the south, but also higher demand still up in the northeast with little supply. So that also has an impact on messaging and branding. But good news along the way, interest rates are coming down. So that being the context as we're entering into 2025, Lianne, being our neighbor to the north, what are the most significant marketing trends you've noticed in the real estate and new home sales over the past year? And then both, what are you seeing on the regional level as well as national when you kind of compare Canada versus the U.S.?
I'm going to give a little bit of context to the Canadian market, or specifically the Toronto market, just for our USA viewers, and also speaking to people who are in the Toronto market and kind of in the depths right now. Robert knows, having come to the Toronto market, how long ago did we meet, Robert? Maybe 12 years ago? Yeah. And he was amazed when he came to Toronto and saw the incredible strength of the market, selling out 500-unit condo buildings at a single weekend. It's been a wild ride. But here in the GTA right now, we are seeing significant challenges because we had this really long run of incredible sales and rising prices for a long period of time. But the most recent data in August is showing that our sales are just absolutely plummeting. To give you a general picture of the market, in August, there was only 464 new homes sold in Toronto. That's down about 73% below the 10-year average. Condo sales are 81% down below the 10-year average. So we're having our own little kind of 2008 crash in the Toronto market right now, which is really challenging. We're stuck with a lot of inventory, which is something that we've never had before, and that absolutely affects our marketing here. We have about 17,000 units of unsold condos. A lot of those are small, investor-driven, 300-400 square foot condos that are empty, and about 4,000 unsold single-family homes. So if you look at sales over the last 12 months, that's around 14-month supply, basically. And we've never had anything like this before in the Toronto market. So we've really got a significant imbalance. There's a ton of reasons for this. I'm sure Americans would be shocked to hear that about $355,000 of the price of a home in the GTA is made up of taxes and fees. So when you do talk about Canadians being taxed a lot, yeah, it's a major structural issue that we have that needs to be solved at the municipal, provincial, and federal level. And then when you add rising costs for land, labor, and materials, it really makes our prices insane. Prices are coming down, but in the area where I live, in the Toronto area, the average cost in August for a condo was about $1 million. And for a single family home, about $1.6 million. But across Canada, we do have markets where it is more affordable. For instance, in Winnipeg, the average price is around $389,000, and in Edmonton, which is in Alberta, around $435,000. But the affordability issue is really the number one thing that's driving our marketing today, because we just have way less people way less eyeballs that are looking at the product. People just can't afford what our industry is trying to sell. So, the interest rates coming down is really important. For us in Canada, we're expecting another maybe half point decrease in late October, maybe another quarter point in December. So we should see those mortgage rates starting to become more affordable. But really, marketing wise, the target market is just getting smaller and smaller. The investors are completely out of the market, which on the whole is a really good thing, because that's really what's driven up a lot of the prices. We have significant immigration coming into the Toronto area. And I think 1 million last year alone, which was like a 60% increase. So it just drove the prices up so much. And I think for a lot of marketers and agencies that have focused on these investors, they were not thinking as much or learning as much about end users. They were really speaking to oh, buy this product because the price is going to go up, and less about buy this home because you're going to live here and have a lifestyle. So appealing to those low rise end users is just a different skill set that a lot of marketers in our region haven't really been using that skill set. It's really less flash and more substance and more connections to the real needs of end users. For us at our agency, it's a great opportunity because that's where we've built our business. We've never really played in the high rise investor market as much. So we are seeing it as a great opportunity to flex our end user sort of heart overhead marketing tactics.
It's excellent. I mean, definitely, again, shows that need to pivot. And for those that are listening, I mean, it's 14 months supply on the market is astounding. And for context, if you look at today's, that just came out from the Federal Reserve data, in America, we're dealing with 3 to 4 months of supply on the market. So almost 3 to 4x in our northern neighbors, which is astounding. Well, Jennifer, I want to give you the form as well. From your book of work, a little bit different from our neighbors to the north. What are you seeing as trends and regional differences?
Yeah, well, we're seeing, obviously, we're as an industry struggling with inventory. All of my builders, regardless of size, custom, small, or regional or national, have been faced with the issue of inventory. What's been really interesting to watch has just been the data. The customer is still engaged. The customer is still shopping. They may not be hitting submit on the cart to move it forward, but they're still shopping. So all of my analytics, what's really interesting to watch is my web traffic is not down. It's been either steady or up in various months when we're maybe doing a bit of more of a marketing push. We're getting a lot of engagement off self-touring, which we'll probably talk about a little bit today, and listings. So people are still submitting leads, and they're very much into as much self-exploratory. They're shopping. They just are still sitting on their hands, especially just still waiting for this political year to come to an answer of, what's going to happen next month. I think we'll see some movement. So what I'm really watching are not so much trends, but where are people engaging, and to try to make sure we've got at least that bubble of demand that's there, and it's not, people aren't receding from any of the marketing tactics that we're doing. So I am watching, the use of, I think, a new trend. Again, like I was saying, is the self-touring. I'm noticing more and more people using influencers a little bit in their marketing. Influencers are really popular in retail and other areas. Not a lot of builders are looking to afford some of the bigger brands, like Taylor Morrison's done some things with some larger, well-known DIY influencers, but I'm seeing more of this influencer movement in the real estate realm to try to bring another voice to a brand, which again keeps that activity, it keeps that digital movement, along with some of these other applications in market that are, again, keeping the interest, even if people are sitting on their hands to hit the submit, the lead form, or hey, I want to come in. We're trying to really watch that digital playing field.
Well, it definitely is seen on the same as, there's a longer sales cycle, or at least we're in a nurturing period as well. So staying relevant. Well, to that point, Genevieve, is that what you're seeing in a regional, or, do you have any insights on trends from your perspective?
Absolutely. Agree with Jennifer and you, Aaron, on buyers right now. They want to educate themselves. They want to find the home that they want to buy. They're just not doing it right now. So really leaning into content development, making sure that you have, 3D tours, really ways for people to just experience your brand, experience your homes online, so that when they are ready to buy and some of this uncertainty is settled, that they know who they are going to trust and they know who they're going to buy from. Some trends that we've been seeing, nationally in the US have been interest buy downs. That's been popular for all of our builders, and how, they're really communicating that, what makes their offer different than their competitor. A lot of that's really leaning into your brand story and your brand voice. So where you might be offering, the interest buy downs like everybody else, how is it being communicated? Markdown quick move-in homes, is another thing that we're seeing. And then a builder that we're working with, our bigger builder developer that works throughout the country, Shea Homes, but specifically for their master plan community, Lyric in Lone Tree, Colorado, they've leaned into creative financing with ADUs. So they modified their financing option to allow that ADU income to help supplement for buyers trying to qualify for their Storytellers collection. And they're really marketing this as a lock and leave product. Small yards. It's a really walkable community. Tons of amenities. I think there's over 6 miles of trails there, but it has more of an urban feel being in the suburbs. So I think getting creative with financing and the communication around that, educating buyers about how they can qualify for a home right now, and just being a real partner and getting creative with them. So that they can pull the trigger.
Yeah, it definitely, more and more buyers are looking for education. I mean, and to that point, Robert, are there any unique challenges or opportunities that stand out when it comes to regions?
The dang election.
Yes.
The dang election. Like some people like put themselves on freeze for an election. And why does that matter? There are buyers, just like everybody is experiencing. But for certain people, the market is let's wait and see. Just like you said, they're looking. Our website traffic for all of our clients is up. July was a slowdown in the market. I think like in America, it was a scorcher everywhere. So, people just probably didn't want to get out. But, right now we're expecting a big January. And typically the first quarter is fast and furious for most of our clients. And I call this more of a normal market, right? Like what happened 3-4 years ago, that was abnormal, right? This is more of a normal market. And right now, just with, less buyers in the market at the moment for affordability, right? That we hope that will continue to be more feasible here with the interest rate lowering. But right now, like we are really focused around like storytelling and really creating a hook, right? As a matter of fact, I'm going to be speaking with Jennifer at IBS in a program called The Forgotten Art of Storytelling in New Home Marketing. Because the last 5 years just had to be transactional, right? And you didn't really need to focus on that. But right now, I believe that in order to compete and differentiate, our clients have to invest in that brand and really creating that hook and making it about the buyer's emotions and their lifestyle, which is a little different than, selling a price. And so therefore, like right now, that to me is where we're seeing a lot of our focus and our effort, and we're seeing builders invest. Right now, we've had a surge in a number of clients that are investing and trying to drive demand. I was curious, Lianne, on your take on it, because in a tight market, some of our clients, you have the people that double down, and you have other clients that shut down.
Yeah, that's not the way to drive awareness. Is to just completely shut things off.
Yeah. So our clients, when they ask for advice, I go, hey, if you're gonna shut anything down, you better not shut down search, because somebody's looking for you. You always gotta get found. So this is my take on the current situation, Aaron.
Well, I'd love to tag team on one thing just on that brand
Please.
conversation. Is I think the challenge that I have with builders right now is make sure that you're working with your marketing team and communications team and thinking about how do you sell without destroying your value, because so many want to put out this low percentage, I'm struggling right now. Some people want to say low price leader. We have to make sure that we don't sound like there's nothing wrong with Walmart. Walmart serves its own purpose in life, but that you're not the Walmart builder, right? or what is it that your value proposition states? So I do worry about fire sales. And then you make the customer say, well, if you dropped it to this, what means you're not going to drop it to this? And so that storytelling, that brand statement, and really digging your claws into what you stand for really is important. But it's so reactionary for builders to want to say, just go flash this out there because this will get movement, and it will not hurt in the long run because you'll start to train the buyer that you'll always come down, or maybe your price just isn't valued where you priced it.
So it sounds like some knee-jerk reactions could maybe move the needle in a short term, possibly.
It happens
You're taking
all
a chance.
the time. I've been in the industry too long.
Yeah. What? Builders being reactionary? I've never heard of that before.
It's not
No. Well, I mean, that gets into our next section, which is around kind of these outlets to get the brand, to get awareness. And a lot of times you're faced with just a myriad of choices, whether it be traditional marketing like print, TV, radio, even direct mail, door hangers, to digital channels, SEM, SEO. You have the rise of satellite radio. I mean, that's nothing new, but more and more when you have Spotify, Pandora, Sirius XM, as well as streaming. For my, I'll age myself here that I don't have cable. I do everything through streaming. So kind of in a larger question around traditional marketing, again, print, TV, radio, direct mail, are things evolving? And Lianne, I'll have you kick us off.
Sure.
Are these still viable outlets?
It's harder today as a marketer. Like when I started in the 90s, it was like radio, print, newspapers. That was about it. Today, everything is so fractured, and it's harder than ever for marketers because the clients are also calling saying, what about this? And what about that? And we really do have to look at the data to make sure that you're making data-driven decisions in your marketing. We, as an agency, see a lot of value in traditional approaches and really creating what we call a layered approach so you can get that sort of omnipresent awareness within the market. And that's what advertising is all about. It's about getting attention and creating awareness within your specific target market so that everywhere your buyer goes, they're hearing about your community. At our agency, we have a full-time media planner. She's been a media planner for 15 years. And where we start is our marketing team gets a really deep understanding of the buyer, who they are, where do they live, what do they look at, and also things like what do they drive, what kind of beer do they drink, all of those kind of things. In Canada, we have a tool by a company called Environics where we can enter in the postal code or zip code, you guys would call it, the street where they live. And we can get not just the demographics, but also the psychographics of sort of who these people are and what they think. And then we use that tool to help determine what media might work best for them. We love digital. I would still say in our allocation, about 60% of our budget goes to digital channels, but we also use out-of-home billboards. We use subway and train platforms. We use targeted television. Targeted print, especially for those in-market people, like Robert was saying, when it comes to search, you'd never give up search because if somebody's searching New Homes, Colorado, you want to show up. So print magazines are great. If the only person opening up a home magazine is a person looking for a home. So that's still a good option. But also, like regionally, we have a lot of Asian buyers in the Toronto market, South Asian as well as Chinese. So targeted ethnic radio is very important for us. They're very connected to language media that they can read about their home countries and things that are going on. So traditional methods are very effective with that group. As well, when we're marketing to seniors, we will still use newspapers or even to a well-to-do market. People that are reading Financial Times and things like that. About 10% of our media buy, though, is made up of print. Direct mail, I will always advocate for, get that analysis of where are your buyers coming from. And if there's a neighborhood, that's a very obvious move up for your neighborhood. then keep hitting them with direct mails that are, engaging, not just a postcard, but something that really tells the story of your community, and make sure that you can measure as well the direct mails with things like vanity URLs, QR codes, and watching your web traffic the day that the direct mail drops. You can't always measure it scientifically the way we can with digital, but you can do your best to say, okay, that direct mail had ROI.
Yeah, it's all about the ROI. And those are always the pesky ones to find it on. Well, Genevieve, to, Milesbrand and you guys creating these wonderful brands and stories, what's your take on traditional media? Is that still a placement, relevant?
Absolutely.
Things changing.
Agree with Lianne that it should be a layered approach. We also prioritize most of our budget for digital. What's great about digital is it's easier to track. However, when we're driving awareness or we're bringing awareness, especially for a brand new master plan community or a large mixed use development, we like to use outdoor, we like to use print, we like to use radio, both streaming and traditional, TV if the client has the budget for it, CTV. Again, we really like to layer on tactics because then it's this robust story. And then all of a sudden you come out with a splash and people are like, wow, I keep hearing about this community lyric and Lone Tree. And, it looks like a really cool kind of urban vibe, even though it's, farther away from the main city center. And so I just think it's a great opportunity for storytelling. You can distribute information differently in print than you can on a quick digital banner ad. You get more of the story. And that's where we really lean into original photography. Instead of using stock, which maybe everybody has access to that same image, let's really show an authentic story about how it's going to be to live in this community. And I just think that's how you can make marketing really sing, is just using both. We have all these great tactics, and when it makes sense, let's hit them with it all. And then again, Lianne made this point earlier as well, understanding how your buyers are consuming media. If it's a luxury community and you're going after, much more of a targeted age group, then, you're going to adjust for that. So it's always understanding. It starts with how are your buyers consuming media? And then how can you reach them? How do they want to interact with you? And just accommodating for that.
Excellent. Well, I want to look at the other side of the coin, which is the digital marketing side. And to that point, Jennifer, digital marketing has become essential. Traditional is traditional, it's there, but digital is more and more the ways that consumers are consuming information. So with it rapidly evolving, what recent changes in the digital marketing platform and techniques are the most impactful that you're seeing?
Well, we consistently are squeezed by, Google's change and Meta's changes and algorithms and rules and regulations. So, to be honest, that's where when I come on as fractional CMO, I make sure I have a really strong digital bench, and I bring on, if budget allows, great digital partners that help us look and monitor. They're the subject matter experts to see what those algorithms and changes are. So one, it's important for marketing teams to stay on top of new regulations or changes in the platform that you need to be aware of so that you are asking your agency partners the right questions, right? So that's first and foremost. I can go throw money into any kind of digital spend, but I've got to understand what's the data giving me, and is it telling me if the numbers are performing? So from that, marketing seat, that's something that I'm watching. Also AI, it's growing, it's changing. We'll probably talk about it again here in a little bit, but AI is growing and changing, and it's looking to scrape information. So the biggest thing that marketers can be doing right now is making sure you have content, relevant content, and accurate content across all digital things. So how are your reviews showing up? How is your storytelling of your brand? Do you have an old website or an old landing page that somehow is searchable? Because AI is going to go out there and do all of this scraping. It already is, which can start to impact how you're found, what the story it's telling. You ask ChatGPT what it thinks about you, and maybe 5 years ago you had some issues with concrete, issue I had with another builder, and some of that's just still out there. It's going to scrape all of this different information. So that's the scariest thing I think builders need to be, home builder marketers need to be worried about, and they need to be paying attention to what's that recipe out there that can be seen and heard or manipulated into some other kind of a story. So, having a great digital strategy, having geofencing, targeting, consistent emails, texting, I could give you a whole list of things you should be doing, but all of that could be deteriorated by how things are changing in algorithms and with AI. So make sure you're clean. Make sure you've got a clean book of content, resources, and all of the links to and from and around your brand is the biggest piece of advice I could give on the digital front. And have a really good partner and someone, even if you can't partner with someone digitally because of budgets, become friends with someone smart like Robert and Aaron, and then have these kind of conversations to find out what you don't know that you need to know, for your teams.
No, excellent point. And I know we'll touch a little bit more on technologies. And I would be remiss to not ask the digital marketing guru himself, Robert Coes. Robert, digital marketing stacks. What's changing, and then where does traditional medium sit in there?
We call that at SmartTouch all lines in, which is basically wherever your audience is, you're going to place your influence there. But before you do that, you got to create a great story. You have to create So, right now we're really focused on driving this new technology that allows us to do location-based audiences. And so these are formerly known as IDFAs, in which you can utilize, based on the location that you select, any phones that were captured in that location. And then you grab that list and you actually upload it to Meta. And that is a highly targeted, especially if you select great locations, other model homes, surrounding neighborhoods, apartments, churches. Those are great targets that we see generate, right? But it requires the investment to get that list and then run your ads on Meta. If you're a savvy Meta advertiser, use funnels. And so you're going to pay for the audience, or you're going to pay to run 3 campaigns to create the funnel, which the funnel is video, click, and lead gen, which means you got to run 3 campaigns at once, right? So one or the other. The other latest technology that we have introduced, and is highly popular, is called competitor conquest, in which we can access the data from Google's advertiser and then be able to just capture the phone IDs of the individuals that were clicking on our builders' competitors' ads in that market. So that gives me even a more targeted list right now. And so that is, right now, audience marketing is pretty, right now, trending in making sure that you got the right audience, right? You still need awareness to introduce all that stuff. So traditional, like you said, like outdoor media, all day long, we are, right now, these new OTT platforms allow you to run campaigns and target it for as little as $1,000 a month. In some cases, 500, but I don't recommend that to our clients because that's not enough impressions. But still, you can run a targeted
for those that may not be savvy. What is an OTT placement?
Or the top television, streaming, Hulu, Roku. I use DirecTV Stream. Those services, and so now they're very affordable, and now it becomes very relevant. So we have a number of clients that have embraced that channel as well as the streaming radio. But targeting audiences, another one that right now is pretty effective for our Build on Your Lot clients, which we have a number of them all over the country, to be able to purchase the owners of lots in a specific location. And we have access to purchase those lists, and those lists also include emails. So you can be very laser focused, targeted at that. And again, that's an audience, right? And for us, we're putting a big emphasis on audience marketing in all lines.
I just wanted to add to Robert's point about the IDFAs, because we've actually used Robert's team to help us with this. You can actually go back. Is it 30 days, Robert, or 60 days? So we went to Robert and said, hey, one of our competitors opened up last week and their sales office was flooded with people. So he was able to go back and get the IDFAs of all those people that walked in, a week or two ago, and then we could flood them with Facebook ads. So sexy.
We'll have to put that on our advertising for Geo, the sexy service.
It doesn't get sexier than that.
No, you're absolutely, no, it is. It's when you can find a hyper-focused eyeballs and people that are there. Same thing with the publication. Like you said, people are not opening it up. People are not clicking on competitors' websites just to browse. They're engaged. Well, that kind of gets into the next section, which is these new technologies and looking forward and how do we incorporate them? How do we be mindful? I know we touched on regulation. So Jennifer, I want to kind of go back to you because you led the charge earlier. What are some upcoming trends or technologies you believe are the most impactful? I know you touched on AI.
Yeah, I mean, AI, I'm watching it. And Robert and I have actually spoke on this topic last year where nobody's an expert in it because it's kind of growing and changing as time moves on. But I think this is just, a call to the industry at large is to think about how you can be technologically advancing your marketing and really your company. Marketers can take the lead in this. So things looking at is what is your visualization experience? Right now, since COVID, some large builders played with the term, that they could sell, could buy online. Nobody's really done it successfully. Kevin Oakley and I have had this conversation many times that there's just a lot of stop gaps in integrating all of the right technology. And it really just, again, starts at the baseline, right? Before you can go pay a lot of money for digital marketing, it's nothing if your landing page sucks. It's nothing if you have all this other content out there that doesn't resonate. It's nothing if your value proposition isn't really stated, right? So you've got to know what you're ultimately connecting to on that front. Going down to the basics of, and these are talking to more of, above the top 100 builders. There's a lot of small builders out there that, maybe are just not as sophisticated with what their budgets have been able to bring, or maybe their experience in market, but look to what some of the other builders are doing. And then look to say, are my rendering something as easy? And I always have to think budget because as a fractional, I'm always working with all these different budgets. So what's the baseline? Are my visuals? Is my content good on my website? Can I afford virtual model tours? There is a way you can create a roadmap to get from here to here, right? But you've got to figure out what does that roadmap look like and then work with your leadership teams. This is kind of where my role comes in. It's how do we start to build this, right? So understanding what are your baselines for good digital strategy. So again, if I could spend all the money on a great display ad campaign, but if I bring you in and my photos are horrible quality, I have a lot of inventory on there that's not modeled or virtual modeled, and I don't have interactive floor plans and things to make me play and stay on your website, I've not really defeated that purpose because I'm not going to engage. We see more engagement and more quality leads come in the door when we have a really good digital experience that's paying off the display ads, and that's maybe paying off. Going back to kind of full circle, if you've got some of that bigger media out there in market, how is the whole story paying off your value proposition? So I'm seeing it and just really, getting engaged in it in every little step along the way. So there's not one thing. It's like, let's look at your whole story and what pieces do you have to engage. So if you wanted to sell, because I think going back to original question, where I think we will go is we will become a sell online industry that will still always want the nurturing and the relationships, and they're going to want to go see and touch product, but they're already telling us we're making our decision, we're doing our research, we're knowing what you offer, and when they come to the table hot and ready for that that lead engagement, they've already done some of their homework, but they're going to do their homework with the builder that shows them the tools and shows them the visualization. Without that, everything else you're doing could literally go out the door.
Well,
big answer.
Yeah, no, I mean, wonderful. I mean, to that point, Lianne, I'll pass it to you. And how is your agency preparing for these changes, especially with AI increasingly impacting just real estate marketing in general?
Yeah, especially when you own a 50-year-old agency, some people might think, you started in the 70s, and you use some old tactics, but we've really positioned agency at the forefront of technology. I've been on a board for a venture capital firm focusing on tech for about 7 years. So I've been able to see all of the startups that are coming, so much new technology in the real estate space. A few weeks ago, I was in Vegas at the Future of Real Estate conference called Blueprint Vegas, where I engaged in 3 days of talks and meeting brand new startups. There's so much excitement, both in technology for construction as well as technology for marketing. So our agency is really looking at ways that we can, almost the way Jennifer is a fractional CMO, we almost want to be like a fractional R&D division for our clients. They don't always have the time to be able to be investigating all of these technologies. So it's great for us to be kind of their outsourced R&D department and bring them innovation. I think there's so many opportunities in the sustainability space as we look at construction technology, meeting net zero goals, and marketing is in the same space, really. I wanted to say, though, when it comes to digital marketing, and AI. Well, I don't know if we're going to get into AI a little bit later.
No, please continue.
When it comes to AI, actually, Tanner from SmartTouch and I spoke this year on AI, and the whole clean data thing is absolutely super important. But what we do have to look at for the future is that Google really wants to replace search with generative AI. So when you ask a question into Google, it wants to basically answer the question for you. And so that's going to change the SEO world going forward in a big way. And so we've been really leaning into YouTube. YouTube is the number 2 search tool in the world. And there's a lot of people that are using YouTube to search things like just market updates in Denver. If you can create content around that, you can be found on YouTube a lot easier. For National Homes, a client that Robert and I share, this year we did a Trends and Insights series where we interviewed sales team, real estate experts, and we turned it into a series of 35 short videos that were really about building confidence and trust in the builder and in the market, which I think a lot of builders would definitely benefit from these days, that educational content that Genevieve was talking about before, and really helping brand win over retail tactics. Like Jennifer was saying, how that's a challenge right now, all these retail tactics. So brand and educational content for your brand is a great thing to be putting out on YouTube. And AI can actually assist with that. So you can take, there's tons of tools where you could take a long form video, ask the AI to give you the topics in that video that have the most potential for virality, and then use an AI tool to chop that 1 hour video or series of videos into 35 short videos that you can upload to YouTube Shorts. You can use it for Instagram Reels. You can use it for LinkedIn, TikTok, etc. And I love TikTok, by the way. I'm a user. So the AI can help you get those videos out and produce them at a lower cost, rather than, most of the time you'd think long form video is going to be really expensive to produce. But something as simple as just interviews, almost like a podcast style, turning that content into SEO content for YouTube. It's a great tool.
No, I agree. The changing dynamics of search, say the number 2 being YouTube, people going into ChatGPT and how that's connecting into there, as well as Reddit. And just with the increase in Google's partnership and them going public, using Reddit forums as a great way for searching and finding
Cranky
information.
people on Reddit, though, Aaron.
Well, you take it with a grain of salt, of course. You take it with a grain of salt. But to that point with AI, Genevieve, being in Milesbrand and heavily focused on, the branding and the visuals, how is these new technologies impacting your guys' firm?
Absolutely. I mean, we're doing everything Lianne and Jennifer are talking about, working with our clients to assess their website. Where are we at today? What is the story there? Is it going to be more, user-friendly with a chat GPT and long tail searches in the future? But something that my team has started to lean into, especially on the new development side, is competitive analysis. So we're using AI to, if we're going into a market, we'll plug in the competitive communities and say, okay, what are these communities doing well? What are their value propositions, so that we can ensure it's a quicker way for us to ensure that we can position our new community against that. And so it's just a great tool for us to start some of that initial research. So that's been something really fun that we've been working on alongside our clients, and doing that when we're going through our initial branding process, our brand charrette process.
I bet it drastically reduces the research time.
It does. And it's great because our clients are like, oh, I've never even thought about using it for competitive analysis. Or even if we are looking at naming, we might put in our top 5 name choices and say, are there any potential conflicts with these names and taglines? Are there any other competitive communities? It just helps us, get there a little bit faster than we used to. And efficiency is always so important in our business. So, yeah.
Well, Robert, thoughts? Do you see any unique challenges or potentials when it comes to AI and improving targeting, personalization, lead gen?
Man, it all starts with the data. For us, because we're a CRM provider as well, we rely on the data that is recorded in our clients' systems, and if they have a discipline to record the entire transactional history, then we have a shot down the road to be able to use AI to then create more intelligence with the data that we have available. Just getting to know our demographic better. But right now you have to start with a foundation, which is the collecting of the data. And you have to implement a discipline that in our market segment, working with new home builders, still in 2024, almost 25, we don't have 100% participation in most companies of the CRM. There's maybe there's a bunch of old schools that are forgiven in a lot of organizations, but for the most part, we have a new generation of sales professionals that are used to the technology. And so it's a matter of hey, for our clients that want to utilize AI for that capacity, to get a shot at it, you got to start utilizing and recording it. Just like everybody said, from an organizational standpoint, operations wise, I mean, we've been using AI for probably 18 months now, to color correct pictures, to come up with statements, intelligence. It's in our process, right? Coming up with subject lines for emails or text messages, just like you said, it's just efficiency, right? And so if we can utilize those tools, it just makes us create more value for our clients because we're more efficient and can do more. So that's probably the principal outcome of right now, AI as a technology. But again, this segment has a history of trailing with the embracement of technology. That's why Lianne is championing her group up there in Canada to bring more of that to the table. And so, right now, I think there's just an opportunity to differentiate yourself as a company by embracing all of the technology that is available.
That's excellent. Guys, as we're kind of wrapping up today's episode, and those that are listening, they're probably full of ideas and ideation out of your guys' contributions. And kind of I want to go rapid fire round, and let's answer the one question that I know that's going to be on the minds of those that are listening, whether you're a builder, developer, or sales and marketing director. What do I need to have in my 2025 budget? What is a must? And I'm going to limit you to one or two. So if you said, hey, I have, let's say, a budget of $5,000. I'm going to put you guys on the spot here. What is the one thing I need to have? Or if you're saying, hey, no, we deal with 10, 20,000, go for it. But one or two. So Lianne?
SmartTouch. That's what you need. You need CRM. I mean, I can't stress it enough. I think one of the main reasons is because our industry puts so much focus on first attribution. Where did that lead come into the funnel? And it's hard because our marketing team spends so much time on all of the other pieces, right? It's not just about getting the lead into the funnel, but all of that nurturing and content and email marketing, one of the best things. And the sale actually doesn't happen. There isn't like sort of a straight line. People are engaging in a lot of different ways. So CRM, any CRM, but SmartTouch is real estate focused, will allow you to follow that sales cycle and see how many different points of contact it takes for somebody to actually move the needle to buy. So I would say invest your money. And it's shocking how many companies that I work with don't even have a CRM.
True.
Thanks.
Yeah, like I said, our industry lags.
I'm gonna, can I jump in? This will be quick, and I know we don't have time because this one like gets my blood. There's not one.
It's a loaded question.
I'm gonna counter answer it and say customer journey. If you do not understand your customer journey, map it out. Everybody map it out for next year. Because it's not what it was 5 years ago. It was not what it was during COVID. It's what it is today. And that ties into how is your CRM working, right? Because if you don't have good CRM, garbage in, garbage out all the time. I see it all the time. So start with your customer journey and then challenge how are you getting people to stay in your funnel, non-funnel. Another topic Genevieve and I have talked about. How are you engaging them? Start with your customer journey and really whiteboard out where are they coming in, where are they coming out, where are we getting the most leads, where OSC saying people are falling off. And that's going to be very insightful where maybe you could spend that $5,000 because I have those clients too. So it's not a super sexy tech answer, but it's
no. It's listen, don't just. So if I'm going to provide a summative is don't just put your money into the Google machine and have it eat it away. First, understand where your client's coming from before you just start tossing money out the door thinking the old ways are going to bear the same fruits as they have.
Google will suck up your money for you either way. Just got to make sure it's right. Correct.
And they'll give you nice little AI recommendations that'll eat your money faster.
Yes.
Well, Genevieve, how about yourself? Would you have any recommendations?
I agree with Jennifer and Lianne, but having a clear proposition, that's what I'll add. Make sure that you have a strong, clear proposition supported by, a differentiated visual presence that's authentic to your brand identity. And are you hiring for brand? Are the people that are working for you on your sales floor speaking your brand and embracing your culture, or is it falling flat? So again, looking at it holistically, first, you've got to have that clear proposition to differentiate you, and then make sure the visuals and communication around that are strong and that it's not falling flat on your sales floor when, people are actually interacting with your buyers live.
Excellent. Robert, take us home. One or two things that we need to have in the 2025 planning.
Well, before I do that, I would like to invite our audience that will be participating at the International Builders Show in 2025. Tuesday, February 25th, I'll be presenting two sessions, and one of them will be about what you're just discussing, which is what's in your digital marketing stack, right? The what, the don't cares and the must haves. And then I'll have a second session that day as well, and it's what's your hook. Jennifer will be participating with me in that one, the forgotten art of storytelling in new home marketing. So if you are in Vegas for the International Builder Show, I encourage you to stop by and check out our sessions. When it comes to digital marketing stack, I can't hold myself to 2. That's too tough.
It's a loaded question. I know what I'm asking here.
But I think the important thing is to identify what I call the short game and the long game. Because based on like how long, let's say it's a master plan community or it's a community you're in, how long are you going to be in that project? Right? If you're going to be in and out single family homes in 3-4 years, strategy may be a little different. The long term is what you do with social media and what you do with SEO, because you're not going to see immediate results. Short game is what you do with paid search and meta and geofencing and those kind of tactics that will result in immediate traffic, right? So based on, what we're doing as involved in the business side of it for their builder, we will put a program. But again, everything starts to me with a search. So whether it's paid or a combination of paid and SEO plus optimizing the Google My Business page, it's super low-hanging fruit that a lot of marketers don't know about, where you can optimize that page and get found and get placed on the map pretty quick. And so that, then what other channels are they engaging in? And for us, like, we know that people that are on Facebook check their Facebook 38 times a day. They're on Facebook already. So you can get them engaged in there. And all of us are, like, right, you're talking about the TikTok and the Reels. Shoot, this morning waiting for you guys. Man, I was just going through. And I mean, it's hooked. That's why we're trying to, like, now implement some laws against displaying it to children, because you can get hooked. But that is one of the prevailing channels. Like, we produce content and encourage, like, right now, video is king, continues to be king. So that's an investment that, it's costly, and a lot of builders shy away, but we believe that that is a must, right, in what you have to. But yeah, in conclusion, the whole online's in. If you have the capacity and the budget to do so, we typically look at anywhere between 1, in some cases 2% of gross revenue targeted over however many years the project's going to take to be allocated to the marketing budget. And that's a pretty common figure that, I've been involved in this business for 25 years. And the last 25 years, that's been the common figure. So to me, it's embracing that, hey, if you want to stand out and differentiate and compete, you're going to have to make the investment in this title.
And as you look to 2025, plan for a longer sales cycle. It's just the way that it's going to be, as affordability is a challenge. As long as you're budgeting for a longer sales cycle, it's okay.
It's kind of knowing whatever the new norm is, because we always have a new norm. So it's what's the new norm for this year is really how we need to start thinking about it and not living in previous norms.
Totally. Yeah. Having a red folder strategy ready. So if plan A doesn't work and you're launching a new community and, you have a price point, if that's not working, have a plan B with your agency or with your internal marketing team that you can deploy a lot faster. Don't wait till you're in trouble. Have that ready to go.
So it sounds like we're all in a consensus that now's the time to be planning and thinking and talking about the buyer's journey, how we're showing up when they're coming, how we're speaking in a unified brand voice, and then just the mediums in which we're connecting with those buyers.
It should be part of everyday conversation, but if anybody's looking for fresh, use that as part of your guide now.
Yeah. Well,
That's
you know,
right.
we get to have these conversations, but you know, the builder sometimes, you know, sometimes you have to slow down in order to be effective, and kind of
Yeah.
gets that adage of efficiency and effectiveness. You know, with these
Sure.
tools and AI, efficiency is you can climb that ladder as fast as you can, but if
Yes.
that ladder's on the wrong wall, that's not very effective.
Probably have the biggest hanging question mark over our departments, over marketing departments, as we do land. So, hey, you know, we don't know what we're up against year to year.
Okay. Keeps us on our toes. Well, panelists, I first want to say thank you for taking time out of your busy schedules and providing these wonderful insights. So thank you.
Thanks for having us.
Thank you for having us.
Thanks, guys. Great conversation. And really hoping that election gets over with soon.
Yeah.
And that it's actually over the day of the election. And then
November 5th.
And then the
Yes.
buyers just start streaming back into the market because it's holding up
Right?
too. Your
Yeah.
neighbors to the north are getting held up too. Can't come soon enough.
Wow. Yeah.
Less than a month away, folks. So, well, for those that are listening, thank you for taking time out of your day, and join us next time on the Market Pulse presented by SmartTouch. Have a great day.
Thanks. Bye-bye.